Today, we are going to talk about how to create a successful micro niche YouTube channel. Now, this is all for B2C coaches, info product sellers, and growth operators. Because today, after watching this entire video, you're going to know exactly how to create your first content and start getting booked calls on your calendar purely from YouTube inbound. And I want to do all of this without, any headache for you. So it's like an easy, seamless flow. Okay, so if you stick to the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do that with this system, with me and my clients we are using. Now, with that said, like, why should you trust me on this? Because why does this work? Well, let me show you my client, Shiv Shetty, who we have started working recently, and we are starting to get really good results. As you can see, this is a micro niche YouTube channel, and we are getting really good results at the start. And I have to show you this voice memo he sent over to me because this is where the leverage comes from.
Like we had, for example, we have one lady who booked a call a couple of days ago just from YouTube. She just found me randomly on YouTube. I think watched the organic VSL, opted in, booked a call, and she is on the verge of paying 7 grand. Like,
So guys, if you just follow through this entire framework we're going to go through, you're going to know exactly how to get these 7K paid inflows without any problem. Now, with that said, the question becomes like, why would you need a micro niche YouTube channel? Well, I must emphasize that micro niche YouTube channels create a one-on-one experience for the viewer, and that's why I love them. Because with the one-on-one experiences you create, the viewer bonds with the creator. And if a bond exists, the viewer is going to feel more free watching your video and just thinking about, okay, I should buy this product. And when you're solving niche specific problems, for just one specific niche, then it's going to be much, much easier to get more leads to trust you because you know exactly what their specific problem is, and you can give a specific solution which will not just create more bond but more trust overall, which leads to getting more clients. So that's why one-on-one experience, bonding with the creator and solving niche specific problems leads to more leads and clients. And you never ever have to chase again, because think about it, you're in one niche, and if you just help one person in that niche solve one specific problem with just one video, they're going to come back again for the next video because they know that you can solve their next problem which arises. So that's exactly why you never ever have to chase again, because these people, these viewers, are not just randomly watching your how to make the best or the most money possible in 2025 videos. They have really problems they want to solve, and they will come back again and again to solve this problem. So you know chasing ever again. And finally, you will be free from cold outreach, because think about it. This is similar to sending a cold outreach. Just instead of sending 1,000 cold outreach, you create one good video which could really lead, which could reach one, two, three, or even 5,000 people. And that's like sending 5,000 outreach, just building more leverage. So that's why micro niche YouTube channels is the best way to really get clients in the online space right now. So that's why I have here the micro niche nuclear. That's the system I named our entire process on how we create micro niche YouTube channels and start getting leads and clients from it. So let's start with the first one. This is what we call audience matching. Now, what this is exactly? Audience matching is understanding your audience. Now, why does this matter? Well, let me explain. Because if you don't understand your audience, you don't know who you are talking to. And if no one understands who you are talking to, no one is going to be attracted to you. So that's why the first and most important step before creating your micro niche YouTube channel is really understanding who you are talking to. And how that goes is, firstly, ask the question, who do I want to attract? If you can answer that question, great, done. First thing is done. The next question is, what kind of latent conditions these people have? Now, let me explain what is a latent condition. A latent condition is basically how someone's mind is preconditioned psychologically. So let's think about it. you had some experiences in your life that led to you having some really specific psychological traits. Like, for example, you desire to have more money. Just this is an example. Now, when we are talking about audiences or niches, these people have a tendency to share traits, lifestyles, and really overall psychological preconditioned states. So, what that leads to is if we understand one specific person's latent conditions, we can enlarge that into the entire niche. So, if we understand who we are talking to by a one-on-one game, like I understand who I'm talking to like one-on-one by their latent conditions, then I can know exactly how the niche looks like, and I can align my stimuli with that so I can create more firepower so I can get the desired outcome I want. Now, what that exactly means that if you understand the latent conditions, meaning their pains, their desires, their problems, their goals, their fears, their dreams, what is going to happen is that you can create your stimuli, title, thumbnail, call to action, value, anything, so it will align with these people's pains, desire, problems, goals, fears, benefits, dreams, whatever. They're going to be more ready to buy from you because it's aligned and you're using their psychological preconditions as a firepower, so called, against them. So they are going to buy from you. Now, this is very some. Now, this is something that you must understand that it can be really harmful. So, I don't want you to use this as a method of influencing people in a negative direction or a negative way. Okay, so this is exactly what is audience matching. You have to understand who you are talking to and their latent conditions so you can align everything from here, ideation, packaging, like everything with what these people want to hear. And if you do that, you're going to get clients, you're going to get leads. So that's the first part, audience matching. Now, this is what we call ideation, the second step. And I have already created a video about this in more depth. We are going to, have an overview about this, but you can check out that video in the description below. And also, there's a link for my Calendly page because if you want expert guidance on building your micro niche YouTube channel, you want more expert guidance, one-on-one help, you can book a call down there and we can discuss that in further detail. But let's talk about ideation, okay? So how does this ideation work? Well, firstly, you have to take notes. This is what the very first thing is. You have to take notes of your ideas because if you don't have unique perspectives, unique ideas that you could use in your content creation, you're never going to be successful. Okay, so this is the first thing. You always take notes of your good ideas, which would be something these people want, your audience. Now, this is the first thing. If you have done that, very good. The second thing is that you dissect it. What does dissecting exactly means about the idea? Now, listen, just let's say that you hear a quote, and after you have heard that quote, you're thinking about it. Oh, this was a good quote, and blah, 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 blah. But you never actually thought that quote through. So, what you can do is dissect the quote. I learned this technique from Danko, and this is really crucial for my and my client's success when it comes to creating content. Because if you take an idea and you don't understand that idea from different perspectives, you're never going to have a alive idea. This is what Robert Greene calls it. And why this is important is because if you just if you regurgitate other people's content, other people's value, no one is going to take a look at you and say, like, this is a person I want to listen to. But if you have unique ideas, you understand your ideas on a much bigger perspective, people are going to be like, wow, this guy is intelligent, this guy knows his shit, and I want to work with him. So that's why after you have taken notes, you're going to dissect all of your ideas. How the dissecting exactly works is that firstly, you're going to take the idea and dissect it into a problem, a benefit, a goal, an example. These are the four crucial things. Now, you can do more. Like you can put here different quotes, your mind comes down, like your mind you can put different quotes your mind connects that quote with or anything else, but this is the four crucial things you must do. And you have an idea, understand what problem that idea solves, what is the benefit by solving that problem, or the benefit with the idea, what is the goal of the idea, like what is the goal of this exact idea, and example of how can you, prove this idea. And why this is also really important is because then you're going to create a really good connection between the latent conditions of your audience and with your ideas, because you're going to align them. So people are going to stay more with your content because they know this is for them. Okay, so this is that. Now, when you have taken notes of your ideas, you dissected your own ideas, this is when we come to the outliers. What do I mean by that? Outliers are what we call on YouTube videos that perform much better compared to other videos on the same channel. So this is how I like to draw it down. Like if you draw a graph like this, and this represents content, like every piece of content, and this represents the views of the content. This content got this many views, this content and this many views, this content, and just someone just this. This is what we call an outlier. This is the outlier compared to the other pieces of content the other person creates. This content gets just much more views. This is an outlier. And why you need outliers is that an outlier on YouTube is an idea that's already validated. Because the problem is when you start creating content that you think your ideas are good, but in reality they are not. And what I exactly mean by that is, how do you know that your ideas are going to be, really appreciated by YouTube? Well, you don't know. And the key thing here is that I heard this quote from my mentor and I really love it, because value is not what you create, value is what the market takes in. And what that means is that if you just think your ideas are going to be valid, you're just going to be, appreciated by the YouTube's market, you're wrong. What the market takes in is what value is for these people. So if you take a look at the outliers, meaning those videos that perform much better compared to the other videos, it means that that is a validated idea and the market thinks of that idea as something that performed really well. And they think of this idea as, this is valuable. So that's why you need to take notes of your ideas. So outliers, sorry. So how this goes exactly is that here on the playlist tab, you're going to save for yourself all your outliers. Like these are the videos I have already saved for myself, which perform much better compared to others. And why this is important is because I can here now take a step back. If I want to create a video, I know exactly where to look for what, because these are already pre-validated ideas for me. Okay, so that's exactly that. This is outliers. And why do we need outliers? Well, because this is the fourth thing we're going to override. Now, what that means is that if you want to blow up and you want to get as much use as possible, you need your unique perspectives and the market validated ideas, which are going to make you blow up. Because that's exactly how YouTube works. You cannot just go here, regurgitate shit and just get a lot of attention, but also you can say, uh, you cannot just talk about ideas which you think are important and just get a lot of views. This is not how it works. You need market validated idea and you need your unique perspective. And when you put it together, then you're going to blow up. So that was exactly how this ideation goes. I hope that's completely understandable. If you have any questions, comment down. Okay, let's go to the next step. Because you have ideas, you understand your audience, everything is correct. Now you want to create your content idea into reality. This is when we come to packaging. So a lot of people and most of YouTubers suffer with packaging. That's why here I'm going to give you the exact framework that we use to get KPI conversions on YouTube, meaning at least 4% click-through rate on any kind of, YouTube channel with a cold audience. And if you haven't created a YouTube video, you think that, wow, that's easy, but reality says it's not that easy. But I have here a proven framework that worked for every client of mine and it works for me. So I'm going to share you guys with that. I'm going to share you guys that. And what is going to happen is that if you follow through this, you never ever going to have a packaging problem. And I can promise you that. Okay, I will promise you that, because this is how everything goes. Let me explain, okay? Because if you do this, as here is written down, you're going to get clicks on your content. Now, let me explain. The first thing here, as you can see, is contrast. What is that? Well, in order for someone to click on your thumbnail, someone or your packaging on your video, someone must see your video. And the very first thing when it comes to seeing your video is the thumbnail, because the thumbnail is bigger and it's a picture. So if you want someone to really click on your video, your thumbnail must have contrast. Because it doesn't have contrast, no one is going to get to see your thumbnail. So the very first thing you have to implement when you're creating your packaging is the contrast. Because the contrast is going to get someone's eyes onto your thumbnail, onto your video. If that's done, great. We have to go to the next step. You have contrast in your thumbnail. You go to the next step, which is the gap creation. How this goes is that after someone to take a look at your YouTube thumbnail, they're going to be like, okay, what is this video about? And they're going to take a look at your title. And here you need to create a gap. And there is two gaps you can create: an information gap and a curiosity gap. Let me explain all of them. Actually, information gap for you is going to be more important if you're creating micro niche YouTube content, because you're going to solve specific problems for people, and then information gap is more important. So I'm going to start with that. Information gap is when someone on the other side of the screen reads your title, they will think that I want to go where I want to reach my goal, and this person knows how can I reach it quicker, so I must click on this video. So if I have to draw it down, this is information gap. This is the information gap. When the person is like here, this is their current situation. This is them here. And they want to go here. This is the desired outcome. Like, this is your current situation, this is the goal you want to reach. And when they read your title, they think, oh my God, this is going to be me going through this bridge and reaching my desired outcome. Meaning that your title must create this information gap in the other person on the other side of the screen that, okay, if I watch this video, I'm going to get to the other side, meaning I'm going to reach my goal. This is how you create an information gap. And we are going to talk about examples in a second, just this is the principle. A curiosity gap is similar, but it's not around the other person going through this entire, gap by your video, bridging the gap. Is going to be about you creating a curiosity gap similar like this about a specific topic. Like, for example, the current title of this video, which I have created for in my mind, is Micro Niche YouTube Channels for Idiots Like Me. That doesn't create an information gap, or maybe it creates some at one specific part, yes, but it mostly creates a curiosity gap, like for idiots like me, like what is this? The core idea on how I like to explain this is, if you're talking about information gap, it's like you have to create this feeling in the other side of the other person's mind that if I don't watch this video, most likely I'm going to delay when I reach my goal. But when you're creating a curiosity gap, you want to be like, oh my God, what is this? I must know what is this. For us, information gap is much more important because we are creating micro niche YouTube content, which is valuable for the other people. Okay, so that's that. Now, let me show you an example, because I have here I will go to my YouTube content, and I don't know, around half a year ago or a year ago, I don't know when, I was creating content. Oh, 4 months ago. That's crazy. It was not so long ago. But let me explain what is the problem with this. So look at this. I have analyzed Iman's one thing, and it's crazier than you would think. If you read that title, do you think, oh my God, Robert, I want to know what you're talking about? Well, of course not. Like, you don't think that. This is when we have to change how we are, writing this together and be like, Imangaji's one thing event taught me this about X, Y, and Z. And what that creates is that if in the X, Y, and Z, I implement, let's say, micro niche YouTube channels, then if your goal is to launch a micro niche YouTube channel, you're going to be like, oh my God, this guy knows more about my goal. This guy knows more about how to, reach the goal of me having a really good micro niche YouTube channel. So that's exactly why this is the gap creation in the title. In the title, we create the gap. That's the reality. Now, when that's done, it's not enough. We have to validate the gap. What I mean by that is people need a lot of justification until they click on the video. So if you have created a gap, they looked at your thumbnail, it has contrast, they read your title, oh my God, this is interesting. Then in their mind, there is this gap. You have to validate this gap. Now, and what I mean by that is, if you think about it, if your title is like how to make $20,000 a month, for example, and on your thumbnail there is a big cookie, like a literal cookie, like, why would anyone click on it? Because the gap is not validated. You have to validate your gap with your thumbnail. So thumbnail gets the attention, title creates the gap, and the thumbnail again validates the gap. So it's like, I will show you a perfect example because when I've seen it, I was amazed how great that was. I don't know if still the same. This one. I copied Iman Gaji's content strategy and it made me 151K per month. When I seen this video, I was like, oh my God, this guy stole Iman Gaji's content strategy, made 151K a month. This is interesting. I want to know more. And I take a look. Really just take a look at this thumbnail. I was like, I see the really specific details here, there. And I'm like, I want to know. I just want to know. So the gap he created was validated by this Miro board where he shows that he's going to talk about a lot of different things. So that's why when it comes to creating the gap, you have to validate that gap. And that you do that with your thumbnail. And the other interesting thing, which is not written here down, the more someone spends time thinking about clicking on your video, the more they're going to be like to think about it. And what I mean by that is that, think about it, like if people spend a half a minute watching your thumbnail and title combination, they're going to be like, I should just click now. Like, I just want to know what's happening. Like, okay. So I hope that's all understandable, guys, for you. This is the packaging, because this is key. Like, packaging is the most important. So if you really understand this, I know for a fact you're never going to have a problem around this, okay? Now that's packaging. Any questions? Write it down below. Now, if you have the audience, if you ideate it correctly, and if you have the packaging, this is when we come to the actual video. And you could ask me on a call like, Robert, what do I say? How do I get people to stay on my content? Well, it's really easy. Let me explain. Firstly, we're going to start with the hook, okay? Now, how do you craft a good hook? I'm going to talk about it in a second. But we're also going to talk about the value, and that's all, because otherwise, you will need anything else. Like, a call to action is easy. You say in the video, check the link in the description down below. So, what do I say? Hook. How do you create a hook which returns people? Like, this is what I like to call them, a neck grabbing hook. Like, think about grabbing someone's neck and just forcing them to stay in your video. Okay, this is how you do it. 4 crucial things: big idea, promise, loop, credibility. All of this must be implemented in your hook. It not the It's not important to be in this exact structure, but it's important to all of them to be implemented in your hook. Let me explain what are them. The big idea is basically what the video is going to be about. The big idea kind of, validates the title and thumbnail. Because if you read about how to make 20K a month and you click on the video and the guy mentions like we are going to talk about how to, you know, write a book that will generate you $10,000 a month, then the title and thumbnail and the hook is not, correctly put together, meaning it's not validating the title and thumbnail. You're going to be like, okay, I'm out. So the big idea is basically similar to what your idea is going to be about the content. You have to validate that. As you have seen on my validation here is like how to create a successful micro niche YouTube channel. Now, why I did that is because I was unclear what kind of title I'm going to give to the video, because it may be that the video or the title I've created is not the perfect one, like the one that I have in my mind right now. So I maybe have to change that in the future, but this is still going to be something people will feel that the idea is validated. So that's the big idea: how to create a successful micro niche YouTube channel. If that's done, good. You have to always explain what the big idea about this video is. Then you have to go about the promise. What is a promise? Well, the promise is exactly what you promise for the viewer to get when they watch the video. So it's like, in today's video, you're going to learn about X, Y, and Z. That's the promise. Done. What's the loop? The loop is when you get people to stay at the end of the video. You loop people back in. Like, for example, there's two ways you can open a loop. You can open a direct and an indirect loop. A direct loop is like, okay, guys, so if you watch till the end of this video, you will exactly know how to make $10,000 a month. This is a direct loop. Like I'm just saying this for you to understand that you must stay and then this video. And this is a loop. Now the other loop, which is the indirect loop, is when you say that, okay, so I'm going to teach you exactly how to make 10K a month with dropshipping. But if you're going to talk about in a second, firstly, let me explain. Have you seen that this opens a loop in your mind where like, whoa, I want to learn about this, how to make $10,000 a month with dropshipping, but I have to, wait. So that opens a loop, and our mind is really about closing loops. So you're like, I just must wait. I just must wait. But opening loops can be done multiple times around this video. As you have seen at some parts, I already mentioned, like here, when I was, revealing the gray shadow around the hook, I was like, we are going to talk about the hook in a second. That opens the loop because you're excited to learn about the hook. And I said in a second. So until I have talked about the hook, you're going to be like, interesting. Like your mind needs to, comprehend all of these things. Okay. So that's the hook. And of course, credibility. Like, why should anyone listen to you? Like, why? As you have seen, I have used this entire structure in this video. And if you're still watching this video, that means that this is working because you stayed on the video. Now, as an example, let me just cook up a hook for this video again. Like, let me think about it. So if this would be the start of this video, I could do this. This could be a good hook where I'm like, in 2025, the biggest button of most creators and really just business owners is getting clients. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to get clients right now. This is micro niche YouTube channels. Okay. So this was, okay, let me explain. And if you stay until the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to launch your own micro niche YouTube channel, how to create your first video, and then how to get clients. But we're going to talk about it in a second. Firstly, like, why should you even listen to me in the first place? Well, because I have done X, Y, and Z. So, as you have seen, this was a hook, even though I did take a look at my um, board multiple times. This is what I, how I crafted it. Now, for a second, I have to stop creating this video because I have to put my camera on battery. I have to plug my camera. And I know if you're watching this video now, you're at home with me. So you have no problems if I have to do this. And yeah, I've just done this. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing, which is value. Like you have hooked people in. People are just interested in what you have to say in this video. But we have to come to the value. Like you have to actually present the value. So this is an easy structure and framework I like to use. The topic, what you're going to talk about, and why, and then the how. Now this can be done in different steps. For example, you can be like, you introduce your topic in the hook, but as well you mentioned, like, let's say the micro niche YouTube channel. So we are going to talk about how to create your micro niche YouTube channel. Of course, why would you need it? Then how to create it. Or you can be like, there is 5 points, and all the time you can repeat that. Like, this is the topic, audience matching. What does that mean? Explaining what it is. Why do you need it? And then the how. Ideation. What it is, you know what it is, but why do you need it and how? Packaging. Boom, 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 boom. In the same way, you introduce a topic on exactly what that is, why people need it, and how. And if you do this, people are going to be continuously hooked around what you're doing. Now, the other thing which you can do is all the time talk in examples and really just tell stories because that's what people love to hear. Sadly, I cannot go further about helping you create your value because that's what you have. I'm not the expert. You are the expert at your specific thing. So this is the best way to do it. You hook people on with these 4 things, put them together. Of course, don't do it like me. Have a flow when you're talking that or saying those things. And then the value simply just topic, basically what, why, and how. That's all. Now, if you guys actually follow through this entire framework, audience matching, ideation, packaging, and what do I say? You can create your first video. You can get thousands upon thousands of views and booked calls. And I know for a fact because most of my clients did this with this entire thing. Now, the problem, you're going to run into problems. I know for a fact because we all do. So that's why I have listed the number one problem which you're going to run into after you have implemented this into your content creation and you just really created your first content. Like, guys, really, if you just do this, you're going to get 1,000 views and you're going to get clients from this. Like, I know for a fact, okay? So that's why I say to you that when you decide to do this, because this is not an if you do this, you're going to make it happen. You're going to run into one problem, and I want to pre solve that for you because this is really, really important. So, what is this one problem? And I put it in red, conviction. What do I mean? For example, one of my clients used this framework, created his first video. And he's like, in the first video, when he starts talking, he's like, yeah, guys, just do this. He's just rushing all over the place. He's just trying to be perfect. He's just getting, he's not like a real content creator. He's just trying to, you know, prove to everyone he's valuable, he has intelligence and this and that and blah blah blah. While I know how that goes because I have the same in my life. I want to make sure you believe in me and you know that I'm intelligent, you know that I'm smart and blah, blah, blah. If you lack conviction in your content, just people are not going to like what you're saying because how do you say is as much important as what do you say. So that's why you need to align what you say with how you say it. So if you're talking about, let's say, how to make money online, the best example, and you're saying like, you can, guys, you can make money online if you, um, let's say, do drop shipping and blah blah blah. Or for another example, my client did this when he was talking about a funnel, like If you do this funnel, like you can do this or this or this or this and blah and blah. And it's like it was clearly he understood what he's talking about, but clearly he wasn't full with conviction that he can actually help someone on the other side of the screen facilitate a transformation. Okay, is it understandable? Because what you're creating when you're creating content, what you're doing is with your content, you're facilitating a transformation. Just like with mine, I'm facilitating a transformation where if you haven't started creating your content as a micro niche YouTube channel, with this structure, you can start doing it like a big coach, info seller, growth operator, whatever you are. You can start with this because I'm here giving you the information you need. And with this, I'm facilitating a transformation. But if I'm not confident and I'm not full with conviction when I'm explaining how you can do this, are you going to do this? No. And if you don't facilitate a transformation with my information, then the video is worth nothing. Okay? So that's why the first problem you're going to run into is conviction. When you press the record button, you're going to be like, you're going to rush. You're going to you're going to, fear creating content. You're going to be all over the place. And yeah, no problems with that. And it can be solved with repetition. But I want to give you guys a framework, a mental framework that you can use in order for you to solve this conviction problem as soon as possible. Because people like to listen to leaders and people full with conviction and not those people who don't even know what they're talking about. So that's why I'm going to explain that to you guys today. So, how do you solve this conviction problem? Very easy. There is two ideas which I want to say to you. One and two. One is being a leader. I learned this from my sales course I'm a part of. And what this exactly means is that if someone books a call on your calendar, that means that this person has a specific problem he wants or she wants to be solved. And then you are the leader who must lead this person from point A to point B to get this problem solved. So if you're afraid of your sales call, like you're just dumb. Like I was dumb at that time because your sales call, you are the leader. Person comes to you because they have a problem. So they want your help. They are not coming to you with, the upper hand. They come to you with the lower hand. They want your help. That's why they come to you. And that's why when you're on a sales call, you are the leader. You must know about this. But in the same way, when you're creating the content, you created the title and thumbnail. Someone clicks on the video, you are the leader. This is your video. This is not someone else's video. You create the content how you want to create it, and you lead the people how you want to lead the people, how you want to lead the viewer to watch through the entire video. So you shouldn't be or shouldn't feel rushed. You shouldn't be overwhelmed because you know for a fact that the person who clicked on this is a person who needs more help. Because otherwise, why would they click on the video? And if they need help, if they clicked on your video, means that you can help them. So if you didn't feel like, oh my God, someone's watching my video, like there, someone will watch your video. So you have to be proud of that you can lead someone to a different point. This is one part, the leader mindset. And if you implement this, I know for a fact you will have conviction. Secondly, where you're going to get your conviction is transformation. What I mean by that is what you're going to talk about, you must be an expert of. Otherwise, you're not going to talk about that. And why do I say this? Is because you shouldn't just, copy a random block of text from, let's say, Wikipedia and just create random content around this. Because then you're not an expert about it. You should talk about things that you're already an expert in. And it's really easy to be an expert, but the idea here is that you know that what you know is good. Like you know it. Let's say you know about funnels, you know about webinars, you know about whatever it is. You know that what you know is worth the time and you know that you understand it. So, with that said, you can be full with conviction that you can facilitate a transformation from your audience because you know that you're an expert and you're only creating content about the topics that you're an expert in or what you have already done. So, with that said, you understand where your audience is because you've done the first step of the process. You understand where you're an expert in, and you understand what kind of transformation you can facilitate in the other side of the screen for the person watching the video, leading for you having full conviction that who watches the video can end the video knowing much more and feeling much better. And if you do that, and if you really interpret that into your implement that into your mind, you're going to have conviction as you're talking about the topics that you want to talk about. And if you think like, yeah, but what if a person watches who is just much more knowledgeable than me and they don't think I have really created a transformation or I have helped them? Like, just a random, negative thought I just cooked up from my mind. Like, yeah, that could happen. But if someone listens to the same advice twice, are they going to say that this guy is dumb, or are they going to say like, this guy is no, this guy knows their shit? So yeah, that's exactly why I think the number one problem is going to be conviction with you because that's what I've seen with my clients. And so if you implement these techniques, the leader and the transformation facilitator, then you're not going to have a problem about conviction. Now, this video was really long. So if you need more help, there's a link down below where you can book a call with me and we can, implement this together as well. Okay. So that was from me. Let me see you in the next one.